But the reality is culture is the strongest force acting on the organization. And unfortunately, it's become like one of the least understood. And it really shouldn't be. It's about these basic expectations and what we value. It's about these invisible things that we're going to start to break down. So what is culture? What is culture? We got an easy definition for you. Okay, so this is from the man, Ed Schein. Here's his detailed definition. Hang with me here. The culture of a group can be defined as the accumulated shared learning of that group as it solves its problems of external adaptation and internal integration, which has worked well enough to be considered valid and therefore to be taught to new members as the correct way to perceive, think, feel, and behave in relation to those problems. Got me? This accumulated learning is a pattern or system of beliefs, values, and behavioral norms that come to be taken for granted as basic assumptions and eventually drop out of awareness. This is the guy, that's the definition. So, you got that?
Yep.
Well, fortunately, that same guy also said, well, culture's shared behaviors, norms, and values. So sometimes in how we just share what culture is and how we talk about it, no wonder like people can feel like it's grab and smoke and it's like, I'm not sure I've got it. Because half the time we might hear, oh, culture's just the way things work around here, right? And you're like, oh, okay, I got that. But then you hear this kind of stuff and you're like, whoa, wow, it's so deep and complex. But this is more than what culture is, right? There's a lot in here. Accumulated shared learning, huge topic, right? As we solve problems of external adaptation, like how we're dealing with the external outside our organization, and internal integration, how we're working internally across teams. There's many concepts in here, which has worked well enough to be considered valid and therefore taught to new members as the correct way to perceive, think, feel, and behave. So it got results, was valid, and it's taught to others that may have not gone through that original shared learning. Patterns of systems of beliefs, values, and norms, which thankfully he summarized over there. But then it's that point it becomes taken for granted. It'll become an assumption potentially, eventually, and kind of drop out of awareness where we're in the water, right? It's the air we breathe. We don't really think about it, but we act based on it. And that's when it can become great if we're driven to connect and involve others and solve problems together. If that's what's driving us, great. But if I stop first when really I know what to do and could act, but I don't even think to act here, like I gotta check with my boss first, right? I wouldn't even think of just acting on what I know. So it's dangerous when it can be an assumption, good or bad. But we can, when we break it down and use the simpler definition, start to understand this a lot more easily.